This week, we're going start, bench, or cut. I've got a few questions here for you guys. I'm curious on your answers. And again, folks, they have not heard these questions. So we're getting them on the spot, seeing what they think, gut check answers. We're starting with the Mountain West top dogs. You're going to start, bench, or cut. Sorry, Wyoming has kind of played themselves out of this trivia question or this question here, but it is Boise State. No, Boise State, San Diego State, Colorado State. Those are the top dogs. You got to start one, you got to bench one, and you got to cut one. Who's ready for their answer first?
I could go first. Yeah.
All right, fire away, Sean.
I've seen two of these three teams in person. Did you see Boise or San Diego State, Jim?
I've seen Colorado State and Boise in person.
Okay.
I've not seen
those are the two I saw. Those are the two I saw when they played Nevada. So I'll say and I've watched a lot of all these teams. I'm going to start Colorado State because they have the best player in the league in David Roddy. They have one of the best point guards in the league, probably second best behind Hunter Maldonado with Isaiah Stevens. They have shooters across the floor. They have a great Swiss Army knife kind of player in Chandler Jacobs. I just love that offense that they have. They play together so well, and David Roddy is an NBA level player. This is tough. I mean, because San Diego State's offense is not good at all, but Brian Dutcher in that defense, I'm going to bench San Diego State because Matt Bradley is just a big time difference maker. He's coming back next year, could be an All-American type of player, but you're looking at someone like an Adam Seiko or a Trey Pulliam to be that second guy. Maybe it's Chad Baker-Mazar, but they need someone besides Bradley to step up when it matters. And I'm going to cut Boise State. That's hard to do because their defense has been so good. Nothing comes easy.
They won the league.
I know. Nothing comes easy inside against Boise State. Marcus Shaver Jr. might be the clutchest player in college basketball history. Like you said, you've never seen Sean Padilla miss a three. Wait. That's mostly a joke. But he's hit 4 big time shots this year. Like he's probably the biggest clutch shot maker in college basketball this year, maybe besides Ron Harper Jr. But
Frazier's up there too. He makes
yeah. I mean, Emmanuel Acott's a big piece for them. Tyson Dagenhart. It's hard to cut any of these teams, but I would cut Boise State because I trust Brian Dutcher's defense a little more, even though Boise State's defense is great.
Yeah, this is the tough thing. You got to cut one of them. Those are the rules. So Ace, where do you land here with these three?
Yeah, I'm starting Colorado State. So I'm gonna agree with Sean there. Like I think from a talent perspective, on paper, they're the best team in the league with Roddy, with Isaiah Stevens, Nico Medved, outstanding coaching. Obviously, they didn't end up winning the league, but I do think they have the highest ceiling of any team in that league when they get to the NCAA tournament because of their point guard play and because you have a guy like David Roddy who can go out there and get you 20 on any given night. You have a guy like Isaiah Stevens who is great in the pick and roll and doesn't turn the ball over. I think he's somebody that doesn't get enough credit for just how good he runs that team. And obviously, they didn't end up winning the regular season championship. But I think, like I said, they're the team that has the highest ceiling in that league. But I'm gonna bench Boise and I'm gonna cut San Diego State. I think Boise. Listen, man, they're doing it on both ends, man. They're second in the league in offensive efficiency and second in the league in defensive efficiency. They're the only team that's top 2 in the Mountain West in both of those categories. They're the best offensive rebounding team in the Mountain West. So, if they're not, making shots, which they're the third right now in the league in 3-point percentage, they shoot 37% from the 3-point line. But if they are making threes, then they also can get it off the glass, man. And I think they're a team that is going to be dangerous in the Mountain West tournament, man, because they also, on the defensive side of the ball, they limit the amount of offensive rebounds that they give up. I think they're a team that come on West time. Like obviously they won the regular season championship, and I wouldn't be surprised if they won the conference tournament championship either. But I think San Diego State is a great team, elite defensive team. I think they're a team that we know defense travels, man. So I think we're finally going to get the 4 bid Mountain West this year, man. I think it's going to be something that is going to be very exciting come March Madness because they've been one of the most fun teams, one of the most fun leagues to watch this season.
Yeah, the onus is on Wyoming to make that happen because I think those other three, right? I think those other three are in comfortably. But so before I saw Boise live, I think I would have cut them here, but I was really impressed with them. UNLV had just blown out Colorado State the weekend before in the same building, and Boise came in and really kind of controlled it, despite a couple of runs from UNLV. So I think I'm going to cut San Diego State. I'm with you guys. We're all starting Colorado State there. But Boise really impressed me. They are tough. They're athletic. Having 2 Pac-12 down transfers is really advantageous for them. All right, the next one. Big name bubblers. You got to start, bench, or cut North Carolina, Michigan, and Notre Dame. I'm throwing in there. There are some brand names here, fellas. So I'll start here. I am going to start Michigan. I know that's probably crazy. They've been very up and down recently, but I think they have the best player of this group in Hunter Dickinson. I certainly like having the best player on the floor come March. And hey, Phil Martelli, he's doing some good stuff on the sideline there with Howard out. I will bench Notre Dame and I'm cutting North Carolina. Sorry to our producers who are not going to want to hear that, but that's where I land. We'll see what Carolina can do tomorrow. Ace, what do you got in these three? Notre Dame, Michigan, North Carolina.
I'm with you. I'm starting Michigan. I'm as much as I hate it, I'm gonna bench Notre Dame and I'm gonna cut Carolina. And to be honest with you, I haven't been high on Notre Dame all year. Like, but I mentioned earlier before we were on air, like I don't care who's on the other side of that bracket. I don't care who. Give me anybody versus Carolina, and I'm taking the field. Sorry to all my Carolina fans out there, but I think Notre Dame is a team. Obviously, you have Blake Wesley, who's potentially going to be an NBA player this year as a freshman. And to be honest with you, I saw them early in the year versus Howard, man, and they really struggled, man. I'm gonna give a shout out to Coach Kenny Blakeney here and what he's doing at Howard, man, because they're having an outstanding year. They got locked up the second seed in the MEAC, and they gave Notre Dame a run for their money. Obviously, I don't want to overreact.
That was a fun game.
Outstanding game. Like I'm talking about, like that was one of the most fun games that I've seen all year. I had the opportunity to be in the building for that one, and I think for Notre Dame, man, I wasn't too impressed with them because the way that Howard was able to kind of take them out of their stuff offensively, like they run a lot of stuff that requires continuity and rhythm and pace on offense, and Howard was able to disrupt all that on the defensive end. And I think they're a team that if you get into the tournament, man, they play a team like a San Diego State or a team, Texas Tech, depending on what the season end up being. But they're a team that I think is going to really struggle when they play against some elite defenses, man. And even that Duke game, man, it looked like they were just outmatched when they played Duke. But like I said, I'm not a Carolina fan. I mean, that in my opinion, that team is not a very good one. So they're getting cut for sure.
All right, Sean, do you disagree? What do you got?
I'm going to start Michigan. I agree with that. Hunter Dickinson is really good. He's a great passer. I feel like that gets underrated a little bit. That's a very important part of his game. You have Devontae Jones, who's a really good player at times. And then Caleb Houston, when Caleb Houston makes 3 or more threes, Michigan is 6-0. I mean, that number says it. They need Caleb Houston to play able to be really good, and that's what they've gotten when he plays good. So if Caleb Houston plays well, Michigan's good. I will bench North Carolina, and I don't like North Carolina or Notre Dame. I'm not high on either team. I'll bench North Carolina because they have a bit of a better offense, which sounds kind of crazy because Notre Dame's usually known for their good offenses under Mike Brey. It's still good, but it's not quite as good as North Carolina. And when you compare the talent, North Carolina is much more talented. They're a little worse defensively. But I'm going to cut Notre Dame because their biggest win is over Kentucky. They have a good win against North Carolina. That game was pretty close, but they haven't beat anybody within the top 50 of KenPom since that North Carolina game 2 months ago. So they've beaten some ACC teams that just aren't that good. They've beaten Miami, who's going to make the tournament, but I don't know how good they are either. Notre Dame needs more from a guy like Prentice Hub. I feel like if they're going to win a game in the tournament, I don't really think they do. I'm going to bench Carolina. I'm going to cut Notre Dame.
All right, there you have it. All right, I'm very intrigued by what you guys are going to say with this one. This is not a pick a team. You must pick a tournament to watch. Start, bench, and cut of these 3 tournaments, the Big East, the SEC, and the Big 12. They're all going to be wonderful. And you can factor everything with this. The gym, so Madison Square Garden might hold some juice for you in the Big East tournament. The announcers, the time of day. Like the SEC, the finals on Sunday. The Big East, you get the Saturday night final. So you're starting one of these tournaments, you're benching one of these tournaments, and you're cutting it, and you cannot watch the cut one. You're outlawed from watching the one that you cut. So Sean, what do you think here?
This is tough. I'm going to start the Big Ten because I'm still trying to figure out who the best team in that league is.
No, Big Ten's out. Big Ten's out.
Big East, Big East, Big 12, and SEC. I don't know why I thought you said Big 10 instead of Big 12. I'll start
the Big Ten, or you would have cut that one.
I would have started them. I'm going to start the SEC. I'm going to start the SEC. I still think Kentucky is probably the 3rd best team in the country. I think they have national title aspirations for sure. Oscar Tshiebwe is probably the national player of the year. I want to see Ty Washington really get it going because when he does, Kentucky becomes maybe the best team in the country. So I want to see a little more of them getting it going some more. Tennessee, Arkansas, both really good teams. Auburn, I still don't know if they can win a national title, but they have the number 1 draft pick, so that's always must-watch television. I'm going to bench the Big 12. They have a lot of good teams in that league. They're going to get a lot of teams in the tournament. You've seen TCU go and beat Kansas. They almost beat them twice. They beat Texas Tech. Texas Tech themselves are pretty good. I'm still trying to figure out how good they can be because I'm not sure if a team without a true point guard and with Bryson Williams being your top scorer, if Texas Tech can really be a Final Four caliber team. I don't really see that. I think they need TJ Shannon to get it going if they're going to go far in the NCAA tournament. Probably a Sweet 16 level team for me. But there's a lot of good teams in that league, Baylor, Kansas. I like the depth of that league. I'm going to cut the Big East because you have Villanova, you have Providence. And then after that, it's not great besides that. So I'm going to cut the Big East.
Ace is shaking his head. I kind of agree. I'm starting the Big East. Ace, what are you doing?
What? I'm going to MSG. I'm starting the Big East.
I want to watch the better teams. I'm not going to be there. I'd prefer to watch the better teams.
You said we're going, right? Oh, are we going?
Or no, this is just viewing experience.
Oh, so watching at home.
It doesn't make a difference from my couch if I'm watching what arena it's watched in.
Yeah, it does. You get listen. You get the 6 overtime. Eric Diefendorf on a little table. You get Kemba making McGee fall. You get UConn 5 days, 5 wins. Man, Kemba.
Is this which tournament's historically better, or is this what we're going to be watching this year? I don't think Kemba Walker's coming back to college. I mean,
I'm saying, you get those moments. Look at how many moments I just ran off to my tongue. The Kemba step back. You got the 5 days and 5 nights. UConn Huskies, man. You get 6 overtime. UConn Cherokee. Like these are all classic moments in history of the Big East tournament. And it's at MSG. You get my guy John Fanta on the call.
That's right.
Like Santa Claus.
That's true.
Okay?
Yeah.
Some Raftery, some Gus Johnson. Yeah.
See, I didn't know that was part of it. I didn't know we're counting.
Everything's part of it. Oh yeah.
I'll still probably cut the Big East.
You're
but.
a wild guy. That's that West Coast stuff right there, man. Look, I don't like that. Listen. The Big East is getting started for sure. I'm benching the Big 12. Great basketball, great conference, very competitive league. You know what I'm saying? I think that's a conference tournament where you might see some upsets, just because of how, evenly matched a lot of those teams have been all year. A team like TCU has picked off, some of the best teams in the league. And I think there'll be some great matchups in the Big 12 tournament. And then I'm cutting the SEC, man. I mean, look, I think, listen, the Big East is getting started. So it was either the Big 12 or the SEC for the last spot. And I'm sorry, but the Big 12 takes the cake in that one.
Yeah, I think I'm going to bench the SEC because I'm intrigued by, like Sean said, the Kentucky-Auburn potential stuff we have there. I want to see if Kentucky gets to the full health top gear that I think they can. It'd be nice to see it before the NCAA tournament because you want to make sure Ty's healthy. We'll see. So I'll bench the SEC and I'm cutting the Big 12. There's a lot of defensive grinding teams in the Big 12. And I agree. For an aesthetic purpose, yeah, I'm gonna knock them
I
out.
like defensive games though. It's fun. Come on.
I'd rather watch Wendell Green and JQ.
Yeah, let's watch Wendell Green throw up 35 footers late.
Yeah,
yes,
I mean,
hey, let's watch that.